Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
What up?
How's
At least everyone.
I'm warm right now, and by the end of the show, overly caffeinated. Second cup of coffee. So, second cup of extra caffeinated coffee.
Chicken, go in there and just shake her.
Yeah, right. You grab onto her and she's already shaking.
Not yet. I'm getting there. I just need a little bit longer.
You got to jump start her first.
Yeah, right. Those 2 cups
Jump
of coffee
starter.
would probably do it.
Yeah. Well, as far as what I did this week, the one new thing to me is something that 3 of us participated in, which is, in WoW Classic, they opened up Naxxramas this week, and we went and found out we are not ready. It was a thing, let me tell you. We went in with, less healers than we should have. Some of our main ones were, out, and, there's a reason that they want you to take 12 of us in there as far as healing goes, because, oh man, there was one, we went to Patchwork, and that boss has something called, I think it's Hateful Strike, Chicken, is that right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Hateful
It's
Strike.
basically, I'm gonna murder people. And Chicken is our beefiest boy, basically, he's the thick boy. And that guy looked at him and was like, I just don't like you, and he was instantly dead. And I was like, there's just no way that we could have healed that. I don't know what you want from us.
Okay, that was a mistake poll. That one does not count.
The next one counts because we still died.
That fight
Yeah,
is
but-
also reliant on the melee, and they're watching their threat meters carefully,
Yes.
where they're at in the meters.
Okay, to break it down so that Oak understands, because
And
I
other
know
please.
people that don't play WoW.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a boss. It's a simple, really simple styled boss where he melees, he attacks you constantly. You have one person who is the main focus of that guy. He's always taking hits constantly, and it is very consistent. Like he's like a lawnmower. He just constantly smacks you all the time. That fight lasted 42 seconds, and I took 80,000 damage.
Yes,
so he
listen
was
to that.
doing
That
about
fight
shit.
lasted 42 seconds.
Yeah, and I took 80,000 damage. Like that, he was just smacking me over and over and over and over and
Yes.
over again. Okay, so
Maybe
that's how
you
that
should
works.
Tell them how much your max health is.
Yeah, my max health is like 8,000 on a good day, 8,200.
So basically 10 times your actual health is how
Yeah.
much damage you
That
took.
dude was smashing him. Chicken broke down the numbers, and it was doing like 2,000 damage a second, or DPS, so damage per second. Yes.
Yeah.
I was just like crushing him.
So that's the main part right there, is that I tank him and he just constantly wails on me, and I've got to try to keep hitting him back so that I stay on top of the threat, most threatening. And the way he works is that every 1.5 to 2 seconds, so every 1.5 to 2 seconds, he will hit one of the 3 people below me.
And threat.
So it's me, and then our second tank, third tank, fourth tank. One of those 3 people will get smacked every 1 second to 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds for almost 8,000 damage.
Holy shit.
Every 1.5 to 2 seconds. So he's beating the shit out of me, and he'll turn and smack, and he'll turn and smack, and he'll turn and smack. So basically, you have to have your healers all set on every one of those 3, and every time they get touched, they have to be instantly healed back up.
Yes.
Constantly. And you have to do that for about 5 minutes before he dies. And he's got some of the highest health of all the bosses in the entire
He's
game.
a good gauge as to whether or not you should be in this raid, because if you can't down this boss, you will probably not be successful in a lot of the other bosses, which he's not even where we started. We went, because he's in the construct quarter. There's 3 quarters in this place.
4.
4 quarters. Yes,
3
I'm sorry.
quarters?
Look, okay, the caffeine has not all the way kicked in yet. That's why I'm having a second cough. Anyway, there's the construct and the arachnid, and then the other 2 that I think it's military and what's the 4th one? Plague. Thank you. I was like, I think they're zombies, but I can't remember. We tried arachnid, which on a whole level of personal scary, you know, arachnid, great. There's spiders, and I don't like it. But we didn't successfully beat the first boss on that side either. So we decided to try patchwork, and nothing.
I got a better strat for that one, Baka.
Well. So yeah, we were short on heals. I think we went in with like
7,
and then we had one of our rep paladins swap over to healing, which is nice, but it's not his main role. So we were short-handed on that, and we did a lot of running back as in the the ghosty dead way. So
to be fair, the whole server was running back. I'm telling you, every time we were running back, there was about 80 to 150 other people running back too.
Yep.
And it was a whole meme for the whole week. Everybody was posting pictures on Reddit being like, hey, cool, welcome to Nax. And it's a stream of dead people running back from the graveyard. It's like, yep.
It
true
was
that.
pretty
all,
rough.
all these other raids that are were a pain in the butts. Like they're easy compared to Nax.
Well, to be fair, I'll give us this, that our guild is a fun guild. We play what we want to play.
We're a dad guild.
We have dads, all dads. All dads all day.
We're considered a dad guild.
Yeah.
Which is just a casual, adult-based guild where we're just really relaxed and we have a lot of fun with what we do, and we work through the content at our own pace.
Well, and that's the thing, is we're not a bunch of min-maxers. We have a lot of people who like to crunch numbers and everything and play to the best of their ability, and that's cool. But we aren't like, we can only have one rep paladin or else the raid will fail, and we have to have this many of this and this many of this class and this many of this class, so everybody else get out a reroll. So it's going to take us longer to clear content, but we will get there. And I think that that's one of the fun and impressive parts about our guild and other guilds that do it like this, is that we don't have to go in and just crush it. We're going to go back and play because we like the people. We like the experience. And even if we did run into a wall, we called it on Thursday night and we're like, all right, guys, we're going to come back next week and we're going to make a difference here. It's gonna get done. And we are a dad guild. Like, at one point, I think Chicken and our other our guild leader and our other main tank Fish, he died, and Red was like, oh my god, our dads are gone. Because they really are like the parents of the guild, just about. But it's fun. We just didn't get anywhere. So
yeah, we'll get there. We definitely get there. And like I said, I got to talk to Baka about the first boss in the Spider Quarter. So
yeah, you guys talk about that afterwards, because nobody else is gonna understand what you're trying to say to them.
Yeah.
Other than that, we played some Phasmophobia with my sister, who's playing now, and she's also a Van main like me, so. I did go in a house last night. I tried to be brave, and that ghost tried to kill me. I almost had my first death, and I thought I really messed it up because I couldn't get doors to open while I was trying to run away, and I could hear the feet right behind me.
I tried to save her, and she just straight dipped. Like, it was at the end of the hallway, and she was behind me, and okay, so normally, I consider myself Steve Irwin, a ghost hunting. Normally, when I try to get them active and whatnot, I can usually get them to spawn, and it's normally not ever, like, get them to spawn or manifest, and then I've got it usually a few seconds before they try to attack. But this one was being extremely aggressive that night. So it spawned up between me and Grif. Grif was at the door, and I was like, okay, cool, I got a picture of it. I'm going to go ahead and start heading out the door. The moment I, got across the room, and instantly started hunting, and I was like, ooh, okay, this is an aggressive one. All right. So I walk out the door, and Grif is in front of me, and I open the closet door next to her, and I'm like, all right, she's going to get in there because I can't say anything, or else the ghost will hear me. And she just runs down the hallway, and I was like, well, peace. And I get in the fucking closet, and I just close it. I'm like, hope she doesn't die.
And we're on the second floor, and I'm running, and I was trying to, hit doors on the way, because it's that one that has the long corridor, and then you turn, there's the bathroom, and then there's the steps to go down with a few other rooms. I couldn't get any of the doors to open in my scared state. So I'm running.
Because you have to push them open.
Okay, look, I was trying, okay? I ran down the stairs, and I tried to open the basement door, which is a pull, not a push. And I couldn't get it to open, but the garage was right there, so I was like, oh god, the garage door's already open, so I just ran in there, and as soon as I ran in there, I tried to shut the door behind me, and I hit the car, so the car alarm goes beep, 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 and I was like, no! I was like, fuck, I'm dead. I actually said it, because I was like, I can hear him, I know he's right there, I turned my flashlight off, I'm just staring at the wall, the door's open behind me, I had to beep the damn car, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm listening to it, I'm waiting for the hands, And then it stopped, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking lived. I don't know
I
how.
was like, where the
I
hell
made
did
all
you
of
go,
the
Grif?
mistakes. I don't know how I lived.
Oh man.
It knew. It was like, she's never died before. This is gonna be good. Let me go ahead and just mess her up just a little bit, but we're just gonna leave her alive. Next time though, dead.
Man, I was like, I'm not going back in there.
You know what would have been funny though is if we'd been able to program the like you do stupid shit in a row and the ghost laughs at you. Like really?
The ghost like taunting you.
Yes. That'd be good.
Ghost opens the door for her and is like, "This is how we do this."
This is how we open doors.
The ghost
You
slams
get
doors
it?
in my face regularly, so I guess I just figured, you know, you don't open doors or something. I don't know. It was terrifying. That's all I know. Oh man.
Too funny.
What about you guys?
What else we got?
That's all I did.
Oh no, it's not.
It's not.
We played Grounded.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did, and the fish are really mean.
First of
They
all,
sound
we
horrible, don't they?
We smashed that zone. We came over there. We fucking did business, and
Crushed it.
we got all the equipment and whatnot.
When he says we
died several times.
Baka and Chicken did most of the work because I couldn't swim down the right way and then get back to the bubble thing without drowning myself. Because I would be on top of the bubble thing where you're supposed to get your air from, and the bubble would come up, but apparently I wasn't standing in it, and it's like, I'm right on top of it! I'm drowning! I hate
It's
it.
very finicky about where you have to position yourself.
Yeah, the thing about it is you have to hit the big bubble, and that irritates me. Like, the little bubbles should give you a little bit of air.
Yeah.
And they're right behind it. You know, they should give you a little. But, yeah, I agree with that. But I did all that on my own, so I had to go all the way down into the bottom, make my way all the way, open up the, you know, flip the switches.
Yeah.
And I did all that on my own. Meanwhile, Old Man and No Pants were off doing whatever it was they were doing while I was explaining to them what was
once
happening.
you get the little mouth breather thing, though, it makes it so much easier.
And the flippers.
Yes, the flippers and the mouth breather, because you can make those so easily, and it makes it so much better underwater. And then once you get like the full bubble helmet, you have 3 minutes of air.
Damn, y'all played a lot.
Do y'all have
No,
the bubble?
we only
Did
played
you
for a
make
few
the
hours.
bubble helmet? Because
Yeah.
okay, I didn't get one.
Yeah, we have enough. Because once we got the first bubble helmet and the flippers, I just went down there and I just started farming all the bones I could. Because then there's that little door right there. You can just swim up, grab air, and you're good for 3 minutes and go back down. The spiders don't bother me. Baka made me a trident, so I just shanked the shit out of them as they try to attack me. Boy,
We get distracted easily. We'll be doing something else, and then I'll be like, all right, let's go to the water, and then we'd go find something else to do.
The Triton though does no damage to the fish, or it does so little damage.
I don't think you're
can't even see
supposed to kill the fish.
I think
it
you
has
can.
a health bar.
I know it has a health
Just have a
bar.
bar.
But the way you have to do it is that you have to be in full koi fish armor and with the trident, and you have to perfect block every time it attacks. If you don't, you just die instantly.
How are you gonna have koi fish armor before you kill a fish?
There are scales.
Because
at the
you can get
bottom.
all the koi fish scales at the bottom.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of them because they were all over the bottom of it and whatnot. So I was picking them up as we were going too.
Yeah. The Baka. The thing
Did
about
you read how to kill the thing?
Did you
What?
read how to kill it?
Did you read it?
No.
Yeah.
No, I
No.
think Chicken
I
was
just
making
used
How do you know
assumptions.
the koi fish armor is going to help?
Because that's what the koi fish armor does. When you go or hover over it, it says perfect block on all three of the things, which means that the set bonus for all of them is going to be something about defense or blocking. And if you perfect block any other creature in the entire game, you take no damage.
Yes, but that doesn't solve the issue of the fact that when I jabbed the damn fish in the butt, it did nothing to it.
You saw a health bar, so it did something. You better start jabbing a lot more.
You're gonna
Because
have to
one of
build
us can
your
tank.
inventory
One of us can
Tritons.
tank, and one of us can damage it. Actually, three of us can damage it.
It probably is
while
meant
one
to be
tanks.
like a raid boss, something like that, where it is going to have to be a cooperative
Probably.
thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know you said you get distracted, Oak, you guys do, but Chicken and Baka are very goal-oriented in that game. Like, if there is something that they want to accomplish, the two of them will make it happen. Like, there is nothing else that's going to happen until it's done.
The problem, what ends up happening with ours is they'll go to burgle, and then we'll end up with whatever the things are for the day, and then that's what distracts us, because now we're looking for raw science, but the entire time. And it's like, okay, we got to kill 5 stink bugs. Got this. You know, with the spider armor and stuff like that, it's fun because it's come in, hit him, leave, get it back in, and hit him, leave.
Yeah.
So,
Chicken and Baka are very goal driven, so that would not distract them because that was not their main goal. Their main goal is this thing, and once this thing is handled, then we can look at optional stuff, which is good because my sister and I are very much like, I saw a thing over there I wanted to look at. I'm just gonna go look at it. Bye, guys. And they're like, stop it.
What does this button do?
Oh, okay, so the little strat that I just saw is you can kill the koi fish, but you need to attack its eye that's not scratched. It's vulnerable eye. That's its weak spot.
Is there
you
only
have
one
to
koi
attack
fish?
that
Are they
one.
all scarred? What's the deal here?
As far as I can tell, there was only one koi fish that I saw.
there's only one koi fish in the
It
pond.
just seemed like they were attacking in multiple places when because we were spread out. It's like, oh, there's the fish, and somebody else would be like, oh, there's the fish. It didn't seem like we were close
The
enough.
pond's not really that big, to be honest.
It's
No,
not,
it's not.
but at
It
the
just
same time,
feels-
it was like I was over next to the little pagoda thing, and then Chicken was over where the where you go down to, where the T-Rex just about, and he saw it, and I had just seen it, and it's like we're on opposite ends. Is there more than one of these? So I just
Actually,
I
the
will say-
T-Rex is almost right below the pagoda. There's a hole. The hole's right there.
It's right down below it. It's on the right
Okay.
side, like where our hut was. The pagoda was to the right. If you go straight down,
Basically, the hole's in the middle of the pond, if you will, and the pagoda's on one side. You want to think of it that way.
also there's change.
I will say, seeing them develop it back, like because you got a little bit more to explore. They have a shed back there that I guarantee they're going to let us go into too. Like we got a lot of yard to grow back into.
Have you
Like,
been?
You kind of see the.
I didn't experiment too far on this, but you know how you got the caution tape around one side and it looks like it's electrifying? You know you can go past that, right?
Yeah, it's just grass over there right now, though.
Right. So it's like, I don't know how far they're going to allow you to go in there before they're like, and you're out of the area, we're going to kill you. So I was like, I'm not going
got
too
all the way to-
far.
There's a fence, like a privacy fence thing for the yard. I got all the way to that. There was nothing back there, so I just turned around and came back out.
Yeah,
It'd be nice if they put something back there.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's what the caution tape is for, is that it's an undeveloped area. It's like, there's nothing over here, so don't bother, but there will be, because there's a picnic table over there, so I'm sure they're going to put stuff around it.
Yeah, the picnic table
yeah.
has a drawing or whatever. I've seen somebody post that before. So, yep. All right. What else we got? Baka?
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead 2.
It's his
online
new
because
crack.
it
He's
was on
obsessed.
sale.
He's got new crack cocaine.
It is only $5 right now, though, so like we said last week, it's if you want to get it, it's between now and like January or something. Go ahead and do it.
It's February.
Which I think we're probably going to end up doing. We'll probably all pick it up, but we're going to wait, or I'm going to wait
absolutely.
until my sister gets her PC built, because her laptop can't run it, to play it. But
No,
we will
no,
go ahead and get it.
that'll set the laptop on fire.
Oh, yeah, it will. Red Dead is very graphically heavy, and then all the systems it's running in the background are very intense.
Yeah, but I mean, for $5, I'm having fun with it. I mean, there is a small story in the multiplayer you can go through and do that earns you some money and then bits for gold bars. The only thing that I'm disliking so far is like once you're done with the story, it becomes kind of this grind. Because you still need to earn gold bars, because you need like 10 gold bars for a bounty hunter's license. So you can do those missions and things like that. 15 for a trader's thing.
But that's how they
for
make their
your
money,
camp.
because they'll sell you those gold bars from the store.
Yeah.
Rockstar's like
it's
way ahead of
the-
you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like the what is it, the card shark thing or whatever.
Yep, from
for Grand
GTA.
Theft Auto.
The loan shark. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing for that, but I mean, I'll go through and hunt animals, sell the leather and things like that from them, earn some money that way, or I'll go back and replay through the story missions, because there's not a lot of them, but you can earn gold that way, and I'm saving up to unlock. I think I'm going to do the trader thing first.
I was going to ask you which one you were most interested in.
Well, the bounty hunter seems like it'd be fun too.
Bounty hunter.
Yeah, but with the trading thing, like there's certain things that you need to you have to get like a certain level in certain jobs or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
To unlock and do other things.
Which one is it that lets you have
the
pet?
moonshine thing? You can buy a pet for your camp.
There's one that you can take your pet with you, and I think it's like a hunter kind of oriented thing where I guess you go, like, your mission is largely
there's a naturalist thing that you can do.
I can't remember.
But that one you're basically preserving the animals. You're getting samples, but which is weird because you cannot buy the tranquilizers and stuff until you hit rank 1, but you can't gain any XP or rank or anything right now, so I'm still trying to figure that one out.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah.
That's really odd.
The only thing I can figure is maybe it has something to do with the kit maybe that you can also buy from her if you have 25 gold bars.
These gold bars, man. They're gonna be tough.
This reminds me. This sounds so much like just a really high graphical mobile game. Like every bit of this, like it's one of those where it's like you paid $5 for it, and now you go in and you have to grind, or you can pay real life money. Buy your pack this week, folks, so you can actually do stuff in the game.
Rockstar knows that it works because it works so well with GTA 5. I mean, GTA Online, they're still making cash off that.
Yeah, they are.
And it's how many 5 years down the line since that game came out? So
they also have a thing in the game where if another player kills you, you can basically press charges on them, and it alerts all the other players, so they get a bounty put on them, and so you'll have other players come and actually take them out and kill them to claim the money.
In my opinion, that's also what Sea of Thieves kinds of needs too. Like if someone is hunted, like you get killed by the same players, you could put a bounty on them and let like the other PvP players go after the PvP players. I think that, like, I've always kind of said that they need some sort of bounty system.
They're 3 years into the game; they could add anything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It'd be another way to sink gold.
Yeah. True.
Well, to be fair, most PvP players don't need gold. They'll have anywhere from 20 to 50 million gold. So,
yeah. But at least this way, you got the people who do want to PvP. Go and hunt the people who are PvPing. So,
I do want to ask Baka though. When Baka makes characters for multiplayer games, they're either going to be incredibly cool looking and like serious, or they're going to be 100% ridiculous. And I gotta know, did you make a serious character or a ridiculous character for this one?
It's ridiculous.
I
He's
made
got
a serious character.
I knew it. Okay.
I'm shocked.
He did for
I'm extremely shocked, especially since it's online.
Well, I thought about the ridiculous route, and then I kind of started looking at all the pricings for the outfits. I was like, yeah, that's going to take a while to grind all that shit up. So
the ridiculous option takes too long.
Yeah,
that's a
he will be ridiculous. Just
so, but give him 6 months, then the ridiculousness starts.
Yeah. Once I get all once I get my money and stuff, I'm just putting weird random shit on.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I just can't get over playing Saints Row with him and him making this giant green Hulk guy that's wearing an Uncle Sam outfit and has the voice, like, modulated down to sound like he's the devil. It was ridiculous and scary, okay? It was scary.
But with a British accent.
Yes. Apparently the devil is from England.
Oh. All right, Oak, what have you played?
Pretty much one game only, outside of Grounded. I did play some Grounded recently this week too, but my story's not as good as y'all's on that one, so we'll just move on from it. But Green Hell, we started Green Hell. I got a message from No Pants. I usually start about 5 o'clock my time streaming, and I asked him if he was wanting to play. He said, yeah, I'm available. And I was going to go into Second Extinction like we've been doing and enjoying the hell out of, right? And he goes, do you want to start Green Hell? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. Well, evidently No Pants was off this week, and I didn't know it. So we started at like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock our time. And I ended up getting off, I think, at 2 a.m. and then started again the next day at like 1 o'clock our time. And I think I got off again at like 11, 12, something like that, just because I'd gotten tired. But we've been playing it all week. And the premise of Green Hell, if you're not familiar with the game, is it's a survival game. Typical what you think of like when you think of Ark and things like that, except it's more realistic in the fact that it's set in somewhere in the rainforest in Brazil somewhere, and basically it's kind of trial by fire in a lot of ways, which is we do a lot of things for science, because certain fruits, foods, stuff like that will not only kill you, but can make you very sick if you do it that way, or can make you hallucinate. But you have a watch that you wear that you have to keep track of your proteins, your carbohydrates, your water, as well as there's one more, fats. So you got to keep all those levels up. So you got to make sure that you're doing that properly. You got to keep your sanity level up as well, which you have a meter for that. If your sanity level starts to lower for any reason, you start to hear voices, which really messes with you because you don't know if you're hearing voices actually in the forest, that things are coming at you, or if you're just going crazy. And evidently, you can actually hallucinate at the point where you start seeing things. I have not gotten to that point yet. So No Pants did. I'll explain that story in a minute. But the premise behind it is it actually has a storyline, which is what I love. Basically, the premise, which the tutorial, which you have to do in order to play the game, chicken. They lock you into it. You have to play it.
Boo! Send it back to the drawing board. Let's remove it.
So the tutorial sets up the beginning of your plot line. Why you're there, what's happening, and then why you're in the situation you're in by yourself. But it is co-op up to 4 people. It's just all 4 of you are playing the dude, basically. But you have to learn how to make your tools, do all that stuff, just like you would with any survival crafting style or whatever. And they kind of set you up nicely to start with, but you don't realize they are. When I went back to the starting area, I was like, shit, they gave us all this stuff at the beginning. We didn't use any of it, you know? So we had, but you go back and, like, you just kind of have to learn how to survive. It's on there. But, like I said, we do a lot of things for science. And one of the things that No Pants decided to do for science, he was already at about half on his sanity level anyway. So he was hearing voices and decided to eat human flesh after we had attacked, some people had attacked us, and we killed. So, you know, he became a cannibal. Well, when you eat human flesh in the game, it drops your sanity another 35 points. Oh, so nice. I am at a village that's close to where we're living, but I was near the village, and I hear from him, quick, I'm being attacked. And I'm coming up, and I see him swinging, and there is nothing around him. And I was like, so no, you're not being attacked. You need to go to sleep. Your sanity level must be insane right now. He goes, yeah, it's kind of bottomed out, so I guess it's not real.
You should have just pulled up a chair and been like, yeah, that's right, get him. Yeah, right over there to the left. Oh, you missed one. There's one coming up behind you. Eat some chips.
So there was that. And then I decided, because we try to do things for science. I decided to find out what would happen if you ate a poison arrow frog.
What do you
I
think's
assume
gonna
you
happen?
die.
It has poison in the name.
Well, I know you're gonna die, but I wanted to see really what happens. You know,
For science.
so yeah, for science. So I emptied my body, so I didn't, because you do lose things if you die. It is like if you've got tools on and shit like that,
It
it's
doesn't
gonna
drop
drop
your
out, but
backpack.
some of the stuff's gonna go completely away.
Oh.
It's not going back and picking up a backpack. It's going back and picking up the shit that was in the backpack when you have to go back to that area, and not all of it's there. So now you're building shit again. But so I killed the poison arrow frog, and I've not eaten one raw because I was smart enough. Hey, that's definitely going to kill me. But I did cook it, and I decided, let's see if it's still, like, does it cook the poison out? Because some of the stuff we cook does cook the poison out when you cook it.
Okay, that's reasonable,
So,
I guess.
you know, logic, why not try it? Okay, so to give the highest food poisoning I had ever had at this point was from eating spoiled meat accidentally, and it was a 3.
Ew.
Okay? Eating a fresh poison arrow frog sends it to a 20 for food poisoning, and like 30 for the poison section, which if you get bit by a snake, it's like 2 to give you a difference in levels.
Oh my god.
'Cause you ate
So
it.
within 15 seconds, I was dead.
Oh my.
Just so you know,
For science.
for
So
science.
is this the kind of game that you can force feed people stuff too?
No, it's not. It's not like that. No.
Damn, it's like, here, eat this.
No.
All right, now just wait 15 seconds.
It does have the 2 modes though. It does have a survival, like a standard survival mode if you just wanted to play it that way, and then it has the story. I'm enjoying the story because you can progress the story as you go. You're not forced to progress the story, but it's now that we are progressing the story a little more, it's like, oh wow, I really want to find out what's happening, what's going on here. They've done a really good job of presenting that, making you feel comfortable for moving from one area to the next. In which we knew the map was big because we had somebody that came into the chat and was like, this is just the first part of the map. And then we got to the second part of the map. We still don't have a map for, by the way, the second part. We just got to it, and I'm like, holy crap, like, how big is this area? Like, am I just going to go around through the entire rainforest? What's happening right now?
Yes.
But no, yes. But it's some of the things that they did in it, which I thought were really neat. I don't know if there's a rainy season in a rainforest or not, but for at least 2 months, or at least a month, I wouldn't say 2 months, about a month worth of in-game days, we didn't have rain.
Huh.
And when you're used to it raining and you figured out a way to get all your water because you need clean water,
You gotta rethink some things.
you go, like, what do we do now? So we figured out a way around it, but it was just like, okay. And like what No Pants theory was, is it's also trying to force you to the next section or to progress a little further as you do it. But the problem is we had some of our issues, our only issue that we really have with the game is that the bad tribe, if you will, that keeps attacking us, they ended up, for some reason, spawning on top of one of our areas that we had used to sleep, and that's where you respawn at, right? So literally we respawn right there, and there's 5 of them sitting on top of our bed. So spawn dead. Spawn dead.
Oh,
Spawn
no.
dead. So we spawned up, and I had to run, and I had like gashes in because you've got to, like, to repair yourself, you have to check your bodies for leeches. You have to check your body if there is a scratch on you. You can get a worm under your skin. You can get a rash. You have to know how to treat all of it. Like, you have to figure out how to treat it. And if you get a gash, there's a good chance it can get infected. You have to know how to do that and, like, solve the problem with the infection part of it. Like, it's crazy. You can build armor. It took me forever to figure out how to do that, but you can build armor. And so that helps a little bit, like with the rash, the way you get the rash, you can actually stop that from happening with that, but it doesn't stop a snake bite. I'm pissed about that because I run up on snakes constantly. So I literally keep the solution for snake bites in my bag
Nice.
because I know I'm gonna get bit. But it's such a fun game. I've enjoyed the hell out of it. We're playing again tonight. We spent so much time. It's a beautiful game because all the green and everything else that goes along with it. And then once you figure out the mechanic of how the food works, it's even better. And I don't know who actually made this game. I haven't even really paid attention to that, but it's just brilliantly done for a survival game. And I wish more of them felt this way. Mm-hmm. Like I loved Ark. I love the way it felt. I love the aspect of just the dinosaurs and everything else that went along with it. But as No Pants was kind of pointed out, there's no higher being that's put us in this situation. Like a lot of times you get with survival games, it's literally you trying to just it's a human element all the way around. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of nice and refreshing to play it that way. And I hope there's a sequel eventually at some point, maybe with a different protagonist, the way they've set it up. But it's really, really well done. I'd highly recommend it. I'm interested to see what else we got this week as we've progressed through the story a little bit. And are in a new area. Like we literally got in the new area last night, so I can't even tell you what's in the new area.
Stop.
We got in it and I was like, I've got to go to bed. We've got to build a new house here. I can tell you there's crocodiles there. Which is, if you're in the Amazon area, you can kind of figure out that's probably what's going to happen. But, but yeah, just trying to learn how to build all the stuff. There are some elements of the building that I don't care for, which is you can only build mud walls.
Okay, then.
Which I think is weird. Yeah. So like you've got all these palm trees, you got all these banana leaves, and you can make those as ceilings, but you can't make them as walls.
Palm trees and banana leaves. I like it.
It's so weird. Anyway, it's fun. I enjoy it. I highly recommend it, even right now. I'll let you know as I get further into the game. I'm only 20-something hours in.
Oh my god.
It might have been crack. I can't help it. It's so good.
That's okay.
It's
You and
we
Baka
all-
found
we
new
all
addictions
get them.
this week. I'm probably going to find a new addiction this coming week because this is when Cyberpunk comes out. So we'll see. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
I'll be
We'll
starting
never
that on
see Grif
Thursday.
again.
So.
Well,
She's gonna play through it like 40 times.
well, if I really enjoy it, then I'll save it until after I'm done with Skyrim and play it for a YouTube thing. That way it's...
Oh, so you're like 12th playthrough?
Shut up. I hate you guys. You're
Because
so judgy.
you got another like year and a half before you're done with Skyrim, and I can only
That is
imagine how
true.
much you're gonna play with Cyberpunk, which is gonna be just as big.
I hate you.
You forgot all of us are here for Red Dead. We were here for that.
Hey, I did play Red Dead several times, and it didn't take that long. Thank you.
Oh, it took a long time. There's like 187 episodes.
That's true. That's true. And that's not as long as my game that I played, like, the first time I played through it, where I just spent, like, hours riding around and looking at stuff. Y'all are so judgy. Let's talk about some news. I hate you.
Oh, too funny. Oh, what's we got?
Well, I mean, y'all talk about stuff that I play a million times, and yeah, I did say last week I was playing Inquisition again, but there's more Dragon Age news this week. Unfortunately, Casey Hudson and Mark Dara are leaving BioWare, and they've been driving forces in both Mass Effect and Dragon Age for a while, which I'm sure this is going to be brought up because you all know that I love Cullen. Cullen's voice actor got into an argument, I think over Twitter, with Mark Dara upon his announcement of leaving, and I think it's because he wasn't asked to come back to the games. And it's because you really have to separate church and state on that voice actor because he's insane and Cullen is a cinnamon roll who should always be protected. But that's the thing that happened. But they're leaving the studios, and it's not a great sign when they're like, well, it was a really hard decision, but we decided that we need to, pack up and move on, because that means that stuff's going down that they don't want to be a part of anymore. And these are two that have been part of the studio for a long while. That's concerning about what one of the other pieces of news is Dragon Age 4 is going to be shown off at the Game Awards this week, which also drops the same day as Cyberpunk, so I don't know how successful that's going to go for the Game Awards. But I do worry what this means, because they're leaving what theoretically should be at the end of a production or developmental cycle for this game if you're getting ready to start showing it off and everything. But we know from a game like Cyberpunk that just because we're going to see it this week doesn't mean that we're actually going to see the game anytime soon, and they could very well still be 100% in mid-development, which I kind of get the feeling they probably are. It probably means that the Dragon Age is going the same way that Anthem did, which is every time they say, this is what we're going to do, somebody's like, yeah, but let's not do that and do this instead. Or let's add all of this extra that we don't need, things like that. So people leaving...
That's really great and all, but this would make it so much better.
Yeah, at this point, I am not expecting anything from Dragon Age 4, and I hope that I'm not disappointed either. Like, if you expect nothing and you still end up disappointed, then they really fucked up somewhere.
As a Dragon Age fan, anything. I have the bar for Dragon Age 4 has consistently dropped over the past couple of years, and it is basically like, I expect it to be on the same level as Mass Effect Andromeda at this point. It is going to come out a hot mess. It's going to be subpar as far as what we've seen from the series. It's going to get patched so that it's not super terrible as far as performance goes at some point, but it's never going to be peak Dragon Age.
It's never going to be what it should have been.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling we're going to get...
The other thing about it is, too, like, he was saying and worried about it being more like Anthem. The problem with that is Anthem's being completely redone right now. Mm-hmm. I think they learned their mistake with Anthem. I really do. I don't think Dragon Age 4 is going to be to the level we'd want it to be, but I do think they learned their issue with Anthem. I think it's going to be to where, and I think they learned their lesson with Andromeda as well. It's just your quality.
I have no faith in them learning lessons at this point. I don't think they do.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't think.
They learned nothing.
Because Andromeda, they completely scrapped any plans for any sort of DLC, which they opened the door for. And it sounds like we're probably not going to see much with that same storyline if they ever do another Mass Effect. It may take place in Andromeda, but they're going to be like, let's just pretend this didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's not, we're going to learn our lesson and
be fair, that's for the best.
Yes. It's not that they're going to learn their lesson and not make the same mistakes again. It's that they're going to just keep pushing forward, which is kind of, I mean, Anthem came out and was a disaster. Mass Effect Andromeda came out and was a disaster, and they didn't learn anything from the immediate, like, those side by side. It took until now for them to be like, let's try to rebuild Anthem from the ground up, when it's probably too late to save that franchise. But Dragon Age you're in the same boat with Mass Effect. You have a previous trilogy that people love, and if 4 does not stand up to it, as you saw with Andromeda, you are going to have just massive backlash, and people are not going to support you. And I have a feeling people are not going to support them and buy this game out of the gate just because of how everything's been. Plus, it's an EA game, so it's going to come out on, don't they have that deal with Microsoft now where they release everything on Game Pass?
Game Pass.
Sorry.
That's a later discussion.
Yeah, that's for another, it's still just on my mind. But I mean, then you don't have to buy it because you've already got Game Pass, so... I mean, that's how we played Anthem that way. I won't even lie. We played Anthem by putting up the EA trial for Origin, the whatever pass. I don't even know what theirs is called anymore. Whatever it was.
The Origin premiere.
Yeah, so we didn't have to pay for it because we weren't gonna commit $60 to the game when we were unsure about it. So we basically put up the trial.
We played it for 1 month, smashed the game, and then it was like, okay, what do we do from here? It's like, nothing. So
and then canceled our trial.
That was it.
So we didn't pay for anything for it, I guess, technically, but I think it's going to go the same way with Dragon Age, because we've seen, especially if you're a Dragon Age fan, seeing people like this leave the series and knowing everybody else that's left the series and kind of how the state of EA is and Bioware in general, it's like, this game's going to come out and be a 2 at best. And we know that. You hope in your little heart that it's going to be okay and that this will be the saving grace that saves Bioware because they will have mastered Dragon Age and it's going to be okay. And it's probably not, but you can hope that. And I'm hoping
that. Hashtag no faith. No faith in EA.
Like, I'm hoping.
That's right.
But I will not try to get you to hope the same thing. I will not try to convince you because I've too many times seen Bioware fail.
It is so
basically.
easy for them to impress me now. Like, it is so easy for them to impress me. I have no expectations. All they got to do is come out with a good game, and they're already like in the positive. That's all you've got to do at this point is just come out with a decent game, and you win.
You know, and it's sad too because BioWare used to be like the pinnacle. Like you thought about when you thought about long RPG style games that had really good bases and the general public could play too. It's not like it was a JRPG where you had to be a certain type of mechanics that you just had to enjoy type thing along with the plot line. It's the average person could play it. They did a really good job of adapting it.
And they did a good job of learning from their own previous entries too. Like you can tell the difference between Dragon Age and Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 2. Like the first Mass Effect, you have to break out a guide so that you know which order to do your quests in, because if you don't do them in the right order, you lock yourself out of a lot of stuff. And it doesn't tell you that. It's arbitrary just about. And they learned like, okay, nobody wants to play this with the guide open.
Well, you got to think about that. We come from a different generation where there was no hand holding at all. Like you go back into the day, it was here's a video game, good luck. That was it.
And I mean, I guess it was the idea behind the original was increasing replayability, because you're like, oh no, I had like 7 quests in my log and I did the one that was on the top and it closed out the other ones and now I can't go back. It's like
it was about exploration and solving the game for yourself. But nowadays, if the game doesn't solve it for you, you just go online and you figure out the solution to it.
As long as they would have put a note on there, playing this quest may lock you out of previous, missions or something.
Why
so
not
that
just
you
play
knew.
it again?
Why don't you play it again?
Play it again.
To be fair, the first Mass Effect is kind of long if you're trying to do everything. So it is one of those things where you're like, why don't you play it again?
But I think that's kind of
75 hours in.
I think the problem you get into, and I think this is what they did really well with Mass Effect in the first place, is it goes along with what Chicken's saying, the fact we weren't being handheld, but we're not handheld in life. And you were Shepard. Yeah. You made decisions based on who you were. It wasn't because I want to finish all the stuff that's on there. It wasn't a completionist mentality. It was, this is my life and I'm leaning through.
I was playing a Paragon Shepherd and I was like, okay, I want to help these people, because there was like, one of them was like, we've lost contact with scouts on this planet. And I was like, I'm going to go help those people because that's what my Shepherd would do. She is a good person and wants to save everybody. And then I did one mission where I helped somebody else and it locked me out of 3 other missions where I had intended to go help people. And it's like, no.
Well, to be fair, the way they do that is they do give you 2 categories. They give you the optional side quests and then they give you the main quests. When you do the main quest, you know you're going to continue on to the main story. It's just that you learn after the first little bit that once you continue those main quests, that it locks out some of the side quests.
But they give you
which
missions
is fair
and assignments, and missions are your main stuff and stuff that is still important, but it's not assignments, and it will still lock you out of some of the missions.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of one of the things you learn.
A little asterisk of this may prevent you from going back to a certain area would be nice, and they did.
We're also looking at a game that's how old. So at the end of the day, basically part of that is just the way the game mechanics have changed over the years. That's what I'm saying, though, is they learned,
exactly.
and that's nice because BioWare used to learn from themselves in their previous mistakes. But you get into the point. But you get into the point of where it's like, WoW, like you get the perfect example. You have WoW Classic now where there's no hand holding, and then you have WoW Shadowlands where it's literally just a straight line. It walks you from one point to the next, to the next, to the next. Like, I mean, where do you want? Do you want freedom, or do you want railed? I like the freedom aspect of it. I just would like a little asterisk next to something that's going to lock me out of every other piece of thing that I was trying to get done.
This is video games. We only work in extremes. It's either you get no help or you are handheld all the way through.
You only get this or this. That's it. There's no gray.
There is no middle ground. It is you are on your own or you have a whole army with you to help you. That's it.
But see, they did
we want no gray areas.
Differently with Dragon Age Origins, the first Dragon Age, because it's like, here, as soon as you get out of the start area, it's like, here are the 3 people that you need to talk to in order to get your shit together so that you can take care of what's going on here. And you can do them in any order.
You can miss and skip a shitload of stuff in Dragon Age Origins.
You can skip a bunch of stuff if you don't want to. do it.
You can miss a bunch of stuff too. If I'm not mistaken, there are even people that you can miss.
You can get all of your followers because their stuff doesn't go away.
If you
There's only one. It's Sten. And because that village, something happens to it. I think after you leave. If you don't get Sten,
yeah, he's
in the gibbet.
So.
I think he's in a gibbet. He may just be in a cage.
Yeah, he's the one in the cage and whatnot.
Yeah, so if you don't get him, but I think he's the only one that you can actually like miss out on picking up as far as your companions go. That and if you don't start as a human, then you can miss out on getting your dog. Which, why would you do that? Get the dog. You got a dog.
But again, the older classic RPGs did not handhold you. Like, they were, here you go, good luck, have fun. I hope you figure out. But that was also kind of the charm of the games back then. You had to explore and just play the game and not look up guides to find everything.
But I will say, with the first Dragon Age, I think your main quests had, and they did this in Inquisition too, your main quests had double arrows over the top, but your side quests only had like one. So you kind of know I'm about to do a main versus I'm doing something that's just in my quest log. Because with the Dragon Age series, they don't differentiate between here's your superfluous extra stuff versus here's the important. You kind of just have to figure it out, which most of it's pretty, save this big named person or go collect 10 sheep. You kind of know which one's the main quest, but at least they give you a visual indicator.
But again, that was BioWare learning from their mistakes, because Mass Effect came out in 2007, Dragon Age came out in 2009, and it was just it was a little bit smoother.
They were the other way around. That's crazy to me, because mechanically, Dragon Age feels like it would have come before because it's a little more clunky. That's
hell
to
no.
me. I didn't even
You have
realize.
played the first Mass Effect. That thing is terrible. No offense, Mass Effect is incredible, but God, that game is so clunky.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It is. And driving the Mako is
Dragon Age
terrible.
feels a little bit better.
See, the first time I played Mass Effect was on 360 is when it came on, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I played the game. I've tried it on PC and I won't touch it. Like, I'm just like, this is bad.
You can't play with your gamepad on PC,
so difficult.
I'm playing it on PC because I never got it for 360 or anything. So I'm playing it on PC, and I don't mind once you get to Mass Effect 2, but Mass Effect 1 is hot garbage. As far as mechanics go on PC.
No disrespect to the game because it is incredible, but damn.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to create, if I remember correctly, that and KOTOR 2 were the two games that I can remember to where you could either do where you could do the combat to where it stops in between, or you could do the where you could just do it straight up and play, right? To where the game actually just stops when you go into combat. Mass Effect 1 does that, right?
I guess I've never tried it because I know Dragon Age does, but I
Yes, I think you can, because I know Dragon Age does, or maybe, and I think it does in Mass Effect.
Yeah, and I think KOTOR, the first KOTOR does stop, and the second one you have a choice, I think.
You have a choice in Mass Effect.
Yeah,
because
you basically
because you can pause it and look through your people and choose their skills and whatnot and where they're going to do it.
I'm like, pause this. You take this thing, you do this thing. Yeah, it does have that. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's them adapting for the first time, trying to figure out a combination between it, which goes back to a casual person playing. If you're used to playing shooters, you want to just go through and shoot things. But if you're used to more of a JRPG style, then you like being able to pinpoint, or you like the strategic part of that, you can do that as well.
Definitely don't try to play Mass Effect, any of the Mass Effects, like you're just going to run in and start shooting. Except for Andromeda, it's pretty forgiving, but doesn't count. Main trilogy, you got to be a little more careful, because you will get wrecked real fast.
BioWare says it doesn't count either.
Yeah. They're trying to.
We should probably move through the articles since we're already in an hour
bad.
already.
I got distracted.
That's fine. I mean, it's perfectly fine. But like I said, we still do have a few more articles.
I did mention the Game Awards, which is this week. It's Thursday. They're going to offer for the first time live audio descriptions for the visually impaired, which is cool. I think that's neat. I guess I just assumed, and this is like I'm probably part of the problem here, but I just assumed that something like that level of accessibility was pre-programmed, like people just would have that. But now that I know they don't, I'm like, oh man, Why didn't we?
I think people don't think of it as in like the Game Awards, because when you think of video games, you don't think of visually impaired people that have to have that technology necessarily playing games. But I think we found out over at least the last few years, 3 to 5 years, that there's a lot more people playing those games. I mean, their faces are right up on the screens and trying to do it, but that's why you get new options inside of video games.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the options inside of Last of Us 2, the amount of accessibility inside that is ridiculous, and a lot of it's based on people that are visually impaired, and they talk to a visually impaired gamer who has a YouTube channel about all of that, and they asked him his opinion on stuff as they were building the game, and I think we're going to see a whole lot more of that, and I'm glad that the Game Awards is recognizing that as well. I think it's pretty awesome.
It is.
Speaking of accessibility and things like that, Twitch has also removed the term blind playthrough from their tags. To make it more inclusive to people, because when you think blind playthrough, you think of somebody who's playing through it for the first time without knowing anything. Mm-hmm. But they're removing that tag from that, because you're gonna have to do first time playthrough spoiler free. You're gonna have to change the terminology so that visually impaired people can use that term as an actual literal blind playthrough.
Yeah,
okay, I'm okay with that. If they were just trying to take the term away in general,
no. They're making it so that term is reserved for actual visually.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's a good way of looking
playthrough.
at that. I like that idea.
Yeah,
Sure.
Like thinking about it, it's like if you see the term blind playthrough, you know it is somebody who is literally visually impaired playing through a game, which will draw people more into that tag.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I support it. I like it.
Last week or the week before, it might have been the week before, we were talking about an entire group of scalpers that had gotten 2,500, 3,500, whatever it was, PS5s.
We need to figure out a better term for scalpers. I think we should call them shitheads.
Okay, so shitheads. So the problem is, in this industry, we use that term a lot. Yeah. So we're gonna have to learn other words for that.
We'll just add scalping shitheads to it then.
Scalping shitheads. There you go. So we talked about the scalping shitheads. That it being able to use bots in order to be able to get as many of those units as they could. Well, the same scalping group decided that they were going to brag about the fact that they got a bunch of Xbox Series X, 1,000 of them in particular, from one UK site, and all that shit got canceled. Once they bragged about it, they canceled the orders on them, which I think is fucking awesome. Like, that's what needs to happen. I've said it before. This is more on the retailers than it is the manufacturers of the game systems.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what it needs to happen. The retailers need to take responsibility for this. And I think that's brilliant. And they need to change their websites. Put a CAPTCHA. It makes it a lot more difficult.
In the basis sense of it, we need our internet infrastructure to be upgraded. Like, across the whole board. Websites need better security. Internet needs better access. People need more tools. Like, I know we're still in the infancy of the internet, which is bizarre to me. We're still baby internet style. Like, it was just, what is it? Now we're legal to drink 24 years, I think. 24 years old. So we still have to have the internet catch up to these people that are just blowing past what everybody else is doing. Because, I mean, you got certain websites that are still living in 1996 where the scalpers, scalping shitheads, are living in like 2040, 2045.
To be fair,
if they didn't brag, then all of those Xboxes would have been gone.
That's not true. If you read the article, and what it actually says is the company that they bought all of these consoles from had an inventory mess up where they sold a bunch of items that they didn't actually have stock for. So it's not like those scammers secured any of those cells. It's that the company was, because they refunded everything across the board. They're basically like, oh, we didn't have these. Our system said we had 1,000 of them or whatever, but we didn't. So cancel everything and all. And it's nice that the scalpers do get screwed in this kind of scenario, but at the same time, it was kind of one of those like accidental. It wasn't a website or a company actually catching up to the times and being able to stop them. It was we messed up.
So there you go.
Just got caught up in the middle of it, but
Hey, well, karma at the end, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Happy
You
to
bragged
get
about it. You told all your people you were guaranteed it, and then you got screwed.
Yeah. So.
You know, so that $40 a month they're paying you in order to be able to get themselves a $500 item, you got screwed out of.
Like how long do you pay that subscription fee before it catches up to the amount that you would have just spent on one? You know.
I don't know. Right now, a lot of the news that's coming out with these scalpers is people are not going on to eBay or wherever and buying them, because they've got them for 3 to 4 times what the actual unit itself is costing. They figured out this is what's happening, and so the consumer, for the first time in a long time, is actually in control because they're turning around and going, "We're not going to do this," and so we want you to lose millions of dollars. Thank you. Thank you for buying all those units up, because now you've got to sell them at the right price in order for any of us to do it. Now, if we could get eBay or any of these alternative sites to actually figure out who these people were and take their ads down like they did with the photos of PlayStations, then maybe we, it would work out a little bit better. Like, it's fine to try to make a profit and be capitalist. Mm-hmm. It's not fine to be a shithead. Back to the scalping shitheads. Done.
Yup. Very, very much so. What else we got this week? The Silent Hill creator is leaving Sony to form a new studio. A lot of people are forming new studios right now, and I really hope that works out. Like, I'd like to see a lot more variety. But
that happens a lot this time of year too, though. If you ever think about it.
Well, it's because all of these the bigger companies and whatnot who control these smaller ones kind of stranglehold the studios, and they're just like, I want to make games like I used to, like with a little bit more freedom to kind of make things as they want them instead of the quota in which the big guy says.
Well, explore different ways of doing things and try to innovate. Whereas, like, corporations like, no, this is what's going to make us money. So you're going to take your cute animal game and turn it into a grisly Call of Duty shooter.
Yeah.
It's
true.
I got a question with these. Like, if you leave a company, like in this case, they're leaving Sony.
Yes.
And we've seen this before where, like in this particular case, Sony, you've had people that have left the area. They've created their own studio of some sort, and either Sony's ended up buying them again, or it'll be to where they put exclusivity on a Sony product. And I'm like, you're leaving this group. Don't you want to explore what's available to you, or is it just because they're so used to being part of that group that they just stick with it in some way?
I think with the exclusivity, it's going to have to do with money. Because, like, you're a new studio, and if Sony knows that you're worthy of their money and they're willing to throw a bunch of cash at you for an exclusive deal, that, as a new studio, you're like, that's going to be a nice boost to us. Maybe we should do this. It's really...
It's like
well, they've got the indie program at Xbox. You could do the same thing there, theoretically.
Like getting out of their contract. It's like, okay, if I work with this company, I'm under the Sony contract. But if I break off and make a new studio and they want my game, that's fine. They can give me money for it and I'll let them be on their console, but I'm not subject to them.
Yeah.
I have my own freedom now.
You're not beholden to their rules. You can do your own game.
Yeah. Beholden was the word I was thinking of. You're not beholden to them anymore. You can do it how you want. Because come on, if you give me at least something similar to a Silent Hill game, because I mean,
this is the creator of Silent Hill, and he can't make Silent Hill because Konami owns that. But it doesn't mean that he can't break away and make a similar product. You know?
Exactly, because there are a couple of games on Steam that are very similar to our Resident Evil remake, like the Resident Evil style of game that did pretty well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like Daybreak 1998, and it's real damn similar to a Resident Evil game, and I mean real similar. And it was
Bloodstained
really popular.
Is basically Castlevania just under a different name.
Yeah.
It's the same play style and everything.
Exactly.
I think
you just got to kind of break away and start something different.
Well, and you also, in this situation, he's leaving Sony. But maybe it's because, as we talked about last week or week before last, Sony's not really looking to do a lot with new IP because it's so risky. So it may just be one of those things where it's like, he's like, I just keep getting my games rejected with Sony because I want to do something new. So I'm just going to leave and do it myself. You know?
Well, I would think that, but see, that's, if I was doing that, that's when I would turn around and go, okay, I don't want the exclusivity. I want as many people to be able to touch my game as possible.
Well, I mean, and
because that's how I'm going to make the most amount of money.
We don't know what he's going to do once his studio's up and running and producing games.
Right.
If they're even going to give exclusivity. So they may not. It may be one of those situations where they are of that mindset of let's go ahead and let everybody have fair crack at this. So we'll see as it comes and goes and whatnot. So that's cool. Go do you, dude. Enjoy. Hope it goes well.
In quick little news, we've announced a couple years ago, I think, the Universal Studios in Japan is having the Mario Kart. I just watched the Mario Kart thing earlier. Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
That does include Mario Kart. It is scheduled to open February 4th of this coming year. Due to the coronavirus, it was scheduled to be this past summer. Of course, I think it was supposed to be right around the same time the Olympics was coming in. According to one of the videos that's on here, the lady talks about how small the park is. And it's like, how are they going to handle, the crowds and stuff like that? Because Japanese will show up. They show up to a party.
Absolutely.
Well, I think you're going to get world tourists going as well because it's the only one right now. So...
Well, to be fair, they're not going to get very many world tourists.
Not right this second, because there's this stupid pandemic that's still happening.
This is perfect for them to it's like a trial opening where it's like, all right, because if I'm not mistaken, their cases are kind of a little bit, steadier because, the whole wearing a mask thing is very normal for them. So their cases are kind of a little bit more
it's
easily controlled.
Like wearing a mask does something.
Yes, please wear your masks. Carry on.
Yes, please wear your mask. PSA. Wear a mask. But yeah, it'll let them open it up and kind of see the attention. And also, I really want to see what it looks like in there. I want to see, do they have little coin boxes everywhere that you can get, or rewards, or what kind of rides do they got? And it'll let me see. And to be fair, if they bring it over to America, there's plenty of space in Florida at the Universal Studios where they could get a nice, big, fat Nintendo park up in there that I want. I want a huge, I want it a third of the size of all the Nintendo or the Universal Studios now.
Wow.
But we'll see how it does when it opens.
Yeah, it's opening at a weird time, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it goes well.
The video did state that they're supposed to be expanding it to a Donkey Kong area as well, that they're working on next to it. So it is one of those, it's a possibility that it is going to be a bigger part of the park, and it's just the beginning of that.
I don't doubt that at all.
And for the record for the Corona thing for them is that Tokyo hit a single day high of 500 cases.
Out of 12 million people that live there, so that's I think they're okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine.
Too funny.
What else we got? What do you want to talk about next?
In other Corona news, basically Epic says that they're not going to hold any type of in-person Fortnite events for 2021 due to the coronavirus. And I believe that's very smart. I think CSGO has also said that they're not going to be hosting theirs as well. So I think that's really smart right now. I know that the vaccine's around the corner. We don't know when that's going to be though.
Yeah, around the corner.
We just know that it's getting
ambiguous.
It's getting approved, but I mean it could be this time next year before I think it's 80% of the population in each country has to have the vaccine before.
Good luck trying to get
herd immunity is fine and it's considered eliminated.
I mean, I think that's smart is to continue to just because you have the capabilities to host your events digitally, just host them digitally and be safe. Better safe than sorry at this point.
In that respect, PAX has also put out their tweet that they are optimistic, hopefully, for PAX dates next year, which are, let's see, there's going to be no PAX South because that's usually in January, February. But East will take place June 3rd to 6th.
If
West
they
will
can.
be 3rd to 6th.
They said, basically
these
they're
are
like, if
tentative
it's
dates.
still a problem, we will not do the show, but we're going to plan to do a show currently.
Yes.
Which, from a business standpoint, is the best way to handle it. Let's go ahead
Yes,
and
absolutely.
plan for the best, but expect the worst.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, which I highly doubt that we're gonna get like big groupings of things like that next year. I think we'll start getting back to normal, like movie theaters and restaurants, and kind of getting some sort of semblance of community back. But I think we're gonna still be holding off on those 50, 100, 150,000 people groups of stuff, because Americans love to be loud and boisterous when they're next to each other, so that's probably not going to be very good for spread, because everybody always gets sick at those conventions.
Yeah.
So,
I would,
and adding something like that.
I go to
is gonna add
PAX
the
West
spread.
on a pretty annual basis, and there's anywhere from 80 to 100,000 people that are there, because they stopped counting years ago on how many people actually are at that particular one. But I would venture to say they are probably going to actually put a cutoff number that's much lower than it has been in the past, to where and it was spread over 4 buildings in downtown Seattle and things like that. I think it's going to be to where it's probably going to be in the one convention center, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's 25 to 30,000. So they're near a 25,000 capacity, and that's a 400,000 square foot building, by the way.
They might go the E3 route, where they have to make it so that you're either a reporter or a YouTuber or something with a big enough following to where you're important enough to be there, and they might open it for a few more people other than that, but they'll try to keep the numbers down and keep the hype up, but still allow some people in.
Again, I think that in both cases, I think they're optimistic the fact that it's a possibility we would have enough people vaccinated to be able to get over there, or at least have the antibodies in their system to be able to control it. And these guys, they're good at last minute changes too. My tickets are about to go on sale. We need to go ahead and make a decision whether we're canceling or not. And they've done a really good job with that. And they had a really good online event, similar to the way TwitchCon did, where they called it GlitchCon and put it on there. It was, for what it was, they did a really good job of it. Would I like to be around people? Yes. Do I want to die? No. So that's.
Do you want to kill someone in your family? No.
Because for those that don't know, I had the shit and it fucking sucked. I don't want it again. I can tell you that now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Safe.
it's just. Hopefully, it can make it work.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. In somewhat quickie news, Activision is suing Netflix. Why? Because Netflix apparently poached its former CFO. And at first I was like, Activision's probably reaching on this because that's how Activision is. But after reading it, yeah, I mean, like...
Yeah, they more or less...
Netflix was like, yeah, if you get out of your contract, we'll pay if they sue you. Yeah, you knew what you were doing.
I like the little sub-headline from it. It's Netflix's torturous and unethical conduct is intentional and directive from the top. That's from Activision. First of all, Pot, you're black too, and so is the kettle. Like, you both are nowhere near ethical in any respect at all. So it's just one big bully yelling at the other one. It's like, you both suck.
Yeah, which is why I read the headline and immediately assumed that Activision would be in the wrong here. But no, like, this is just... this is two big corporations, neither of which are, like, clean, arguing with each other about something. And I mean, Netflix...
It definitely looks like
the thing about it was, I love the fact that Activision was mad that this all took place when they were trying to negotiate with Netflix over their fucking linear material.
Yes.
Like, are you hearing me right now? Like, this is why you're mad. Like, it's almost like, well, we didn't get the deal we wanted for our media shit, so we're gonna sue you because we think this is what really happened. Netflix is like, you're gonna sue us for what you think is gonna happen, and it did really happen, but we're not going to tell you that. But it's like you two are fucking babies, man. Stop that shit.
Yes, they are. Oh my god.
So that's the thing that's happening. I mean, we'll see how that unfolds as court cases play out and everything, but cool.
I'm sure it'll be settled in the long run.
Probably.
That's basically how these things work out.
Yeah, you guys do you.
Whatever the legal fees are, they promised this dude, and he better be worth it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say now. He better be worth it.
Better be worth all of the hassle. We'll see.
Then we'll get a note later on that Activision's put all their stuff on fucking HBO Max, and then
Or they work it out so that Activision does get to put its linear stuff on Netflix, but at the price that Activision wanted, not at the price Netflix was trying to offer them. So.
Yep. Oh, you know what though? I wonder if this is a possibility too. I read part of the article when I got to that part about them trying to pay for legal fees and all other shit. I was like, okay, I'm done. I know who's wrong on this one. But it could be a possibility that the deal was already made. Activision didn't like the price they got. They got a rumor of this one. HBO's offering them more money, and so they're trying to get out of that fucking contract to be able to go this way, but with this lawsuit.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And then the last bit of stuff that we have to talk about is that Sea of Thieves is getting a battle pass and seasons starting next year. So instead of just being they update the content whenever and we all go and play it, it will now be part of seasonal battle passes a la Fortnite and Call of Duty and stuff. Thoughts? We were having a discussion before the show, so now they have to like
anger management. Okay, here's my thought.
My first thing is, please let's not call reading all the comments and whatnot. And I was trying to get a lot of different people's takes. Let's start here and not call this thing a battle pass, because it's really not. It's just a leveling system in the game that they're adding for the seasons, and that's it. Like there's really no correlation to the battle pass that other games have done, because it's literally just 100 levels each season that you can level through. You don't have to pay for it or anything. It's a free update to the game that you get to play. You get to do.
Okay.
That is that part of the game.
Okay.
So there's no.
But we already had a free leveling system that's still in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So why...
But this one offers you short-term incentives to come back to the game. It's like what they were trying to explain in the comments is that there's really no incentives to come back. It took me 2 years and some change to get to Pirate Legend, and I got the same thing as the dude who got it in 3 months. So
we did. To be fair, we did get everybody that got it within the first year got more than you did.
Okay. So you got some extra stuff.
But most of the stuff, yes, you're correct on.
And
but like I've got a set of sales and some other stuff that you don't have just because I got it in the first year that they gave it to us after a year. And to be fair, every year they should be giving the Pirate Legends something. Like you should get something this coming February when it's a year old, or March, and that way, because you made Pirate Legend within that year, and then every Pirate Legend before you should get something as well, so that way you always have it. But they're not going to.
That's super similar to what this new update style is that every season, if you get to level 100, you get shit that other people can't. So you get to fly a special flag for your participation in the season and things like that. Like you don't have to buy it; you just load in, you play for a little bit, and then.
So what are you buying if you do buy the battle pass?
You have to restart.
Yeah, no. You still have your regular progression system. So like he's Pirate Legend, he still has his Pirate Legend stuff, and he can still go to level 75 on the ones that are there. And then the ones he hadn't reached 50 on, he can get up to that particular level. But the idea is it's an added system. If you're not familiar with the way that the battle pass systems work for like Call of Duty and things like that, is basically as you gain XP, then you unlock particular parts of each one of the battle passes, so you're unlocking something. So I'm assuming it's the same way with this, is you have to, I don't know, turn in 5 captain's chests, and that gives you so much XP, and that allows you to be able to get to a certain point. And I'm okay with the fact that they're doing seasons, because I've been bitching about this for too long, is the fact that a lot of us that are casual players now, I used to be gung-ho, but now I'm a casual player of the game, I can, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks that they give you to play the fucking game to get all their stuff for their events, I can't unlock all that shit.
That shit's too short. Like you get like a couple of weeks for the Halloween event, and then it's gone, or a couple of weeks for the event in September, and then it's gone. It's like you play once or twice, and it's like, well, shit. I mean, you got to like make sure that you play all the time. Where the season pass, which is what I thought the new update was, is you unlock only certain things in your 100 levels, but for that one you unlock everything. Like you don't have to buy anything. Every level you get something, and you have full access to all of the updates that they're doing. It's just that the plunder pass is what you buy.
Yeah, and with the plunder pass, the problem I have with it is they make a statement in there. You're going to get exclusive things as you go, but you're also getting discounts on stuff that's in the Emporium.
Right, which is the real money.
So you're paying, which is you're using real money to get a discount on stuff you were already paying real money for, which unless they're raising the prices on the shit in their Emporium, I don't see a purpose in, because I could just buy the stuff I wanted and I'm done. But it's like, now you're saying I have to pay money to get a discount, but I could just pay the money to start with. It's not like it was expensive stuff anyway. I mean, you're out $3-4, sometimes $1.50, depending on what it was. I'll have to see it when it's out. I just think that when you're going the same route as some of the other popular games that are out there, and you've been the unique, you've been the one that stood out, that nobody else matched your system, especially as a live service, and now you're going to what everybody else has. And I get you want the replayability and everything else, but you're going to have those people that are going to do exactly what they've done every time you've had an event. They're going to play for 1 week, they're going to max your 100 out, and then they're not going to touch your game again for an entire 2 months, and then they're going to do the same thing at the beginning of every month. And that's the same thing they do every time there's an event. Do what now?
Assuming you can max it in a week. But, I mean, there are min-maxers out there that are going to figure out the mathematical equation to how much it takes to get a certain level, and then they're going to math it out and get it in a few hours. It's just crazy. But they're also doing a Pirate Emporium edition. They're changing how that's working, too. So we're going to have to see what they're going to do for the Pirate Emporium. Because I'm pretty sure the main point of this is that they're just having trouble sustaining their game. And I'm sure Microsoft is pumping a lot of money into Rare to keep this thing going, and it's just not giving back. But the game is so good. Like,
it's hella
Rare
good.
has supported it so much, and it's like I definitely see, and hopefully they can get this balance just right to make it so that they can support the game, and Microsoft doesn't like keep eyeing them, being like, you're not making enough money. We might not be alive for much longer. So it's like, just I hope they get it right, because Sea of Thieves is such a great game, and it has so much potential. So I hope they do it right.
The thing that is interesting to me is they're focusing more on adventure mode, which is what most of us in Sea of Thieves play anyway. But part of the issue that the people that casually play the game is the PvP element of the game. You're not supporting the PvP side, which is the arena. If you're going to create a battle pass, because that's what it's based on, is regular battle passes. Make it arena oriented as well, or have 2 separate ones, because you're going to, in both free, right? Have them both set up as free, but have 2 separate ones, or make it to where you can get more XP if you're in the arena versus being in the other. And so if that's the way it's set up, it'd be great. But they basically said, we're not going to really do anything with the arena. It's just there. We're not going to make any improvements with it. And it's just kind of like, okay, so you just created it for PvPers, but the PvPers are on our regular servers, so...
They gave up on the arena. Thinking about it, the perfect way to fix it, because a lot of people like to do PvE and the adventure mode and just like to casually play. Like, all right, so you got the Reapers in the adventure mode. They're your PvP style. Now, do it like Baka said in the bounties. You get sank by a Reaper ship. You put a bounty on them. The bounty, as long as they stay on the server, the bounty stays on them. Then you have bounty hunter pirates who constantly swap servers, looking for servers with bounties on them. They show up on your server. They're like, okay, this guy's got 3 strikes on him. Like, and I'm gonna hunt him. As soon as you take that hunt, your ship is flagged as a Reaper, and now they're gonna go after the other Reaper ship.
I would say it's not necessarily just on Reapers, though, because a lot of people who are looking to fight other ships aren't flying the Reaper flag because they don't want to be seen. I think your bounty system is basically, then, as soon as somebody sinks you can put basically you add an asterisk, so if they get like 2 or 3 where they're obviously going around and just killing random ships, then they get flagged.
That's a good idea.
And once they're flagged, they do have that bounty on them. And if a Reaper is, on the thing, have it add to their Reaper levels and things like that too, because you've got people that are like, I want to fly the Reaper flag, I'm gonna go get somebody. And as Oak mentioned earlier, a lot of these people that play regularly don't need the money. But if you can add it to notoriety and add it to like titles that you can earn, or items for your ships that you can earn based on how many bounties you've gone and turned, picked up.
You could almost customize the entire battle pass based on how you normally play. Yeah. You could literally set the thing up to, are you normally a Reaper or whatever? here's your battle pass, and you at the beginning, instead of sending the emissary thing like we normally see, from an individual standpoint, because it's based on the ship, right? Instead of being based on the ship, it's based on an individual. So when I start the game, let's say I have 4 or 5 battle passes that are set in front of me, and I choose when I start to play that day, when I log in, which one of those I want to level. So now I have several that I can level, and basically they all unlock the same stuff, right? But it's how I play the game is be out there. So if fishing is my thing, and I love sitting on a dock and fishing, then give me an option that I have to catch a certain amount of fish and do all this stuff in order to get EXP. It's going to take me longer than, somebody that's going out and doing captain's chests and Athena's chests and stuff like that. But at least I'm doing it my way, And I think maybe if they did it that way where it was more personalized, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But just having a generalized one, I got to see how fast it goes. When I find out how fast that first person gets through their entire 100 levels, then I'm going to know exactly how it's going to hand out. Because it's plain and simple. You don't play for 30 days, and then you just go onto their servers for the last 2 months and finish up what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure the seasons are going to be 3 months each, and they'll do 4 a year.
They still need to look for ways to, if it's an issue of return of money, they still need to look into how to accomplish that, because they are offering this, basically, like Chicken said, you've got the free one, or you can pay to kind of expedite it and whatnot. There's got to be a better way for them to make money that doesn't 100% turn it into, here's 30,000 outfits that you can buy, they're $6 a piece, or whatever, like some other games have done in the past. It has to be good value, because I feel like there's a different level of player playing something like Sea of Thieves as opposed to something like Fortnite. So the people playing Fortnite are willing to throw out, $40, $50 every couple of months on a billion different outfits, whereas your Sea of Thieves players probably not. You also have,
like, casual... You have casual versus competitive style, where in the competitive game you see a lot more of your cosmetics and things like that in a high-octane style game, where in Sea of Thieves it's a lot... Yeah, it's a lot more casual. There's not much showing off, which, I'm thinking about it. If you want to show off, you need to create some sort of hub that pirates can kind of gather in so that you can show off.
But I think the downside of that is once you encourage them to gather, unless it's a forced sanctuary, you're just going to have a bunch of people camping it so that they can try to
drop it right in the middle of the map and
they've stated since the beginning there will be no forced sanctuary. I think because it is almost in the middle of the map, where the arena's outside that's inside the adventure zone, once not when you're on the island, but if you walk inside of the area, which you can't walk into right now because you're supposed to be outside of it, that would be your little sanctuary where you could go inside of it. You got the shopkeepers that are on the inside anyway, have them go in, do the shops, but nobody can kill each other inside that room, just like you can't in the arena.
But I think you still run into, is that useful? Because Anthem did something really similar. I don't know if you guys remember it because we played it for such a short amount of time, but they implemented a garage area where you could go, and once you were in that, you could see, like, I think it was up to 20 people could be in there at the same time. And really all it was a place to show off your mech, your javelin. You're like, look at my cool stuff, but you couldn't do anything in there.
There was other people in Anthem? I thought it was
early
just the four
on,
of
yes.
us. I mean...
But I mean, that's the problem, too, is they made this area where you could show off, but really all you could do was stand in there. And so people are like, okay, but why, though? So I think if they were going to implement something like that for Sea of Thieves, it would have to be like a hub island where you could come and turn things in, like an outpost island, or else nobody's going to use it. Because what's the point in me standing in my cool pirate outfit in the garage with 30 other people who are just emoting? Because what else are you going to do there?
You could make it into almost you'd have to figure out how to do it mechanically, but almost like a game room. Like, you set it up to where there's, like, different stuff for people to be able to play, do things, whatever, challenge each other, set it up to where it's on. Like, you could mess with it and play with it.
Well, I mean, you could turn it into, like, a cove area where they came and you had tables set up where people could play dice with each other, or cards, or I was going to say blackjack, but I don't know if pirates actually played blackjack.
Oh my God, gambling money. Come on. If you want to live this whole pirate style.
If there was gambling in it, then they would have to have an M-rated in a lot of places, and they're not going to do that. So you can't gamble, but you can play against other people for, like, a leaderboard status. Kind of like an arcade.
Give me the Orlog from freaking Valhalla and put it in my Sea of Thieves, and I'm set. That's what I'm saying. All I want is the Orlog game. That's it.
I don't know if
I'm
they
just
do
being
that.
Sea of Thieves.
I don't know if they do that.
Fine,
but...
if no gambling, then if you play against other people and you win, you get like a fucking pirate token or something.
I mean, I was just gonna say make it like a leaderboard thing, or even like almost like a Chuck E. Cheese-esque with your token things.
You
where
definitely
you win so
don't
many
want to
times
do that
you can buy
because you're
stuff
gonna
that's
get the
specifically from there.
You don't want to do that because then you're going to get the fucking hardcores who are going to fucking get the score so goddamn high that you'll never see your name.
I mean,
Short
maybe
of
the
wiping
leaderboard's
it every
wiped every
single
week.
day. What?
Maybe
You
the
just
leaderboard's
make it
wiped
for the
every
server
week.
for the day.
Yeah, server
Yeah.
for the day or something like that.
If you leave, your name gets wiped off the server.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
Hey, look, I'm the first
could
one,
work.
top one
it's
right
something
now, you know?
small, but it is something like if you put something like that in where there were several activities to do and essentially a reason to, and like other pirates that are there could like watch you play if they're not playing themselves and things like that, where it is a reason to go there instead of everybody standing around and emoting in an empty garage. You do want, if there's stuff to be had that's cosmetic, you want, and you want people to buy that.
To be fair, you can actually talk in Sea of Thieves.
Well, that's true. But I mean, still, it's not like people are going to go and stand in a garage, in a cave in Sea of Thieves and be like, hey, cool outfit, bro.
No, but they could. But what it could be is one of those where you turn around and you go, "Hey," and which you're going to have people that are going to be piratey when they do this too. Which is they're in there, they're playing around or whatever, having a good time, and then they turn around and go, "Hey, my ship's outside, so is mine," or "Cool," or "My ship, you know, because you shot it when you came in, has sunk to the bottom and is spawned somewhere else." But you know, I was going to go run this particular mission. Do you want to run it with me? Or whatever, right? So it is a way of meeting up with other people too and having an actual conversation before you freaking go pirate. Mm-hmm. You know, instead
know something that I would like them to try is turn off PvP on a server, like no PvP, and quadruple the amount of ships that are allowed to be on a server.
Just to see.
Like imagine you get all like you look out and you just see ships sailing on the horizon every direction, but nobody can fight each other. They're all just out doing their thing. You can actually interact with each other without the fear of them literally blowing up your ship just for saying hi.
You know, here's a thought. You said they don't want to implement anywhere that's a forced sanctuary, so you want to be able to get into a brawl or whatever at any point. What if this is an area like your major cities in World of Warcraft where it's like, okay, yeah, if player A wants to get aggro and start beating on player B who didn't, you know, may not have done anything, then the guards, like the pirate bouncers that are there, are big enough to just whoop your ass. So I mean, if you want to try to go and start some stuff in there, you can, but you're probably
sniper rifle shotgun.
Probably going to get
put
put down pretty quickly. And the same thing for like in a certain radius around the island where it's like there will be patrol ships, basically bouncer ships, so that if you're coming into this place, you've not got somebody that's already docked there that's just mass murdering folks as they try to come in. You've got those ships to kind of protect the area and instantly sink. Like if you want to get 5 or 6 ships band together, you can probably make a dent in one of them, but they have to be hefty enough to where it's like if one bad actor is trying to just make everybody else's day bad, you can put that down pretty quickly. So you could actually have a lot of fun with. See, I missed the server events. That was the fun thing about like when we did the Megalodon, things like that, where you had to have somebody on the server to help you out and do it and things like that. And the first time I did Fort of the Damned, you had to have a server because you had to have somebody kill you first of all to get the pink. Mm-hmm. But the other thing about it is a lot of times they would help you do it and then you just shared the stuff like we used to do with the forts. But it's gotten to the point now to where now you have people that literally server skip to see if the Fort of the Dam's up and running, and then they're just coming in to attack you. So it's like you I don't know. The game is there's a toxicity to the game. Yes, there's a toxic element to the community now, which I think they had not necessarily intended for, because it's a fun Sea of Thieves pirate game, and yeah, you're gonna get sunk every now and then, but everybody's really there to have fun together. No, they're not. Not on the internet anymore. People are there to ruin people's days or play things by themselves with their friends. Like, there's not a lot of friendly interaction. I think we've literally only had once or twice in the past 2 years of playing where somebody's been like, hey, can you help me with this, or can I come with you to this, or whatever. Other than that, it's on site. You're like, I see your ship over there, and they're like, yeah, we see you too, and then there's the first cannonball gets launched, and you're like, well, okay, I guess you guys want to fight. Because why wouldn't you? I mean, like, that's literally the only thing that ever happens to us if we see another ship, is either they're going to keep going and say nothing at all to us, or they're going to turn around and start shooting. There's never any...
Well, but part of that is because if you deal with the people that are toxic, you stop talking to the other ships.
Yeah.
And then if you're a toxic person, you're never going to get...
Yeah.
Nobody's going to talk to you
no
anymore.
Report system,
you know?
Which is why I say turn it off and just increase the amount of people in there and get some good socialization back in
The problem
the game.
you deal with it is this. The PvPers stated over and over again that if they went to... If they made the game to where you can't shoot other people,
they're not going to play.
They would stop playing the game. And that is a big player base. PvPers are a very big player base. It's the reason they continue to play the game over and over again, because they like that element of play. I do think it would be interesting to just do it for like one day or something like that, just to like Christmas Day or something like that. Call it whatever you want to in the Sea of Thieves world, but just put it a day of peace, right?
Yeah.
To where everybody can go do their thing. And then we're going to quadruple the amount of people that are on the server so everybody can talk and have a good time. And if you want to go talk to somebody, you can go talk to them, you know, that type of thing. That if it's one day a year, I don't see that there's going to be major issue with it, because even the PvPers are going to be like, I remember killing you before. Or that guy's like, I remember getting killed by you before, you know, and they can have a whole conversation, you know, about it. But it's just, I don't know. The way the game is set up right now, we're just going to have to see how it evolves. The seasons themselves, we're going to have to see how this new setup has gone. Right now, I think they've jumped the damn shark. I think they're done. I think they're going to have a Sea of Thieves 2 to move on.
They just need a way to punish the toxic people. Like, even if it's an in-game check.
It's part of it is they've got to make money.
Yeah. I mean...
Well, we don't know how much their kickback for being on Game Pass is either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they don't get anything. Rare gets nothing from Game Pass.
Skyrim.
It all goes to Microsoft, and Microsoft supplies them. It's like, all right, your game is not bringing in enough people, so you're not giving us enough money.
Yes, we can't solve all their problems in an hour, unfortunately. So we'll have to figure out.
We can get real close. Hit us up. We got you. Rare.
We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week on Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDBOtree. Check out Grif.
At Grif's Lineham.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 3.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure to go to Grif's YouTube channel, where she's currently playing through Skyrim. I mean, lots of you are starting going back into lockdown with your states. Maybe whatever part of the country, whatever country you're in might be in a lockdown. This lady right here needs to be your daily entertainment.
I got you.
She's got, I mean... What if you got the next 187 days that you're going to be locked up? Go back to her Red Dead stuff. You got one for every single day if you want to.
Or you could just binge them all in like consecutive, then get done in like a week.
Yeah, one right after the other. You got this. You know, watch it like a Netflix television show.
We got this stuff.
Well, I will have a new Skyrim out. I'm going to put it up after the show. So when the show is launched, I will have just put one up yesterday for you guys, because we'll hear it tomorrow.
Awesome. So make sure you hit her sub button as well as the little bell so you get the notifications. Also go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313. Chicken.
Yeah,
do we get more ghosts? What's going on, bro?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, we should definitely have time tomorrow. It's hard being a fresh parent now. I mean, I know being a fresh baby is difficult too, but man, it's fresh parents are hard.
How are you talking about? Everything gets taken care of by the parents. They're just learning for the first time.
I'm just trying to get everything organized so that I can have time to play. I definitely want to play more Ghost of Tsushima.
Awesome. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDBOtree, where I'll be playing Green Hell most of the week. I know everybody's surprised right now. And then Cyberpunk starts this week as well at the end of the week. I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk instead of watching the Game Awards in the background.
Yeah, I can check out
I'll have it on the
Game Awards
side.
on Twitter.
Do what now?
I said I can check
up on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be playing Cyberpunk, except for when I have to raid, which is Wednesday and Thursday nights. So.
Oh, poor Thursday night. No. Oh, but for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.